Hi guys, welcome back to the Yorkshire Modeller. We're now on issue 17 of the Spitfire. So with issue 17, we get a load more cables and details for the inside of the cockpit. So I had a rant a few videos ago about the cables on the engine. Probably shouldn't have. But we get all the cables, or a lot of the cables, sorry, to go on the starboard side of the cockpit, which we finished in the last video. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to keep everything in the tray, and I'm just going to get everything out one by one as I need it. It's probably the easiest way of doing it, to be honest. Tweezers, they're going to be my friend today. So, right. Let's get started. So, step 1, take the starboard cockpit assembly from issue 16, that's this one here, and cut part C from frame 17.3. That is this frame just here. And part C is the one that's been painted silver just at the end there. So, if I just cut that off there, and cut it off there. There we go. Now then, so this part goes into this little hole just up at the top here. That one there. And it goes in because this is actually on a slight angle. I don't know that you can see it on camera very well there, but the actual pin sits off and the side is kind of like at an angle like that, and the pin sits like that. So it's just making sure we get it in the right orientation on this bit. But it looks like it should fit in so that that pin fits pretty much flush against the side. So tweezers. There we go. So there we go. Right, so that fits in actually very, very nicely. So you can see it up on the close cam there, and if I try and turn it on an angle so you can see it, there you go, sticking out, lovely. So that's that bit done. That's step 1 of what looks like about 17,000 in this issue. Next, cut part B from the frame. Identify the rectangular hole in the panel and check how the tab on part B fits into the hole. The inset shows the tab on part B from the other side. Note the orientation of the part and position of the raised area outlined in yellow. Right, so on the sprue, it's this one just here, the one that's got like the well, again, it looks like an air tank. It is probably not. So if you do know what it is, feel free to pop it in the comments down below. Now this is going into this hole just here. We're going to make sure that we get it the right way round as well. So, if we're looking at it from the back, right, okay, so, looking at this, how I'm looking at it, let's see if we can grab hold of this any way possible. There we go. No, that's not going to fit. So, I'll just have to hold it in my hands for you guys so you can see what we're doing. So, on the back of the part, you've got the actual peg there, and then there's like a bit there that's on the same level. That has to face towards the front of the cockpit. So if I just put a dab of glue around that pin and then glue that in like that. There we are. That should hold nicely now. So, right, that's that bit done. Take part 17.4, which is this one. So it's the one that has the little cockpit green bit and then practically a straight cable. And check the orientation. A rectangular hole at the left hand end fits over the tab in the framework 16.1 near part B. Check the fit and fix in place with a little super glue. So the peg that it's on about is that one just there, and it goes through that hole just there. So, and then the cable has to point towards the back of the Spitfire. So that goes in like that. There we are. So that's that cable just there, all in place. Next is part 17.2. Take part 17.2, which is this one just here. So it's the one that's got the, can you pick it up on the camera? There you go, the little bit of like raised detailing on there. And then that fits over this peg right down at the bottom just there. Some of these parts as well, because it's not an exact match on the fit, they'll move a little bit. They'll kind of rock when you've got them on. Best thing to do there is just to try and get them as plumb level as you can, especially bits that are like towards, like this one right at the very bottom. If that's not plumb level, it's going to could potentially cause some problems later in the build when you're putting the floor pan in and things like that. Right, so that's that bit done. Cut part A from the frame. So there's only one part left on this frame now, and then that's this bit all done. So we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. That's what we need. And check how the tab fits into the rectangular hole in 17.1. So 17.1 is this one just here, and the rectangular hole it's on about is that one at the back just inside this part here. So let me have a look. So that's got to go like that and facing up, and there's a little kind of like 3 circle hole thing in the back. That I'll show you. It's easier just in there. So that little hole there has to face away from the part itself, but that fits in really well. So I'm just going to grab a dab of glue. And if there's anyone from Hanna-Barbera watching this, that was not copyright infringement to grab a dab of glue. I know, I'm sorry, that was a really poor joke. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But that's in. Right. So that's that bit in. Just there. The pipes that are fitted in the following steps are flexible and may not always sit against the cockpit walls, cockpit panels in the positions shown. Well, that's handy. Right. So, part D from issue 16, so that's this one just here. And then this, right, so there's a couple of little like cutouts on this nub here. They will actually go to allow that bar in there to sit through, so it can be held at the right position. The 2 green sides have to point straight down, so so that's what it'll look like when that part just there is all in and attached. To move back a little bit, you might get a bit more detail out of it then. So that one there, lovely. Right. Into the race, when you're happy with glue in place. Right, take part 17.8. Now 17.8 is this one. So it has big long copper pipe, little black bit closer to one end, and then it zigzags up and down a little bit. So the black housing has 2 pegs that fit into the holes in part C, fitted in the last issue. So that's this one. Whoops. So that's those 2 holes just there. that those two will fit into, and I am assuming that that will fit up. Ah, it does as well. Right, so that fits. So, when happy with the fit, glue the two pegs. Now, the thing is with the engine that I didn't like, or when it started to get annoying, was when it was just loads and loads and loads of little copper wires and cables, similar to these, but nothing was sitting properly, and it was all over the place. It was all awkward, and it was just annoying. I'm hoping so far this seems all right. So that's that one glued in. Take part 17.5. which is this one, 17.5 with a little red bit on there, and fit into the panel 16.4, so that's these two holes. So that's these two holes up here for 16.4. Okay. Note that the end of the pipe on 17.5 fits next to the end of the pipe. Right. Glue this in place. Right, okay, so with these pipes it just makes sense to just keep checking the orientation that you need them, making sure that everything's in the right place. Get the glue on like that, and then just gently pop that down in there. Fit in, there we go. Now in the instructions it does say, note that the end of the pipe on 17.5 fits next to the end of the pipe 17.8, which is shown below. Now if you look at mine, that's one pipe, that's the other one, just up here. So you've got one pipe there, you've got one pipe there, so they're not actually fitting perfectly next to each other. So I'm thinking what will happen eventually is that copper one will be moved down to where that one is as well. We'll see what happens. Right, next is 17, right, so take the pipe 17.7 and check how it fits above the tank. Right, 17.7, which one's 17? 17.7 is the one with the big red lever on it. So that one is 17.7, so it's got the big red lever on it, which has got some writing on, but it is impossibly small to read. It's something only. They make out the only. Right, so this one will sit on this little pin just here. Right. Check out if it fits. The black housing with the red lever fits into the peg part E from frame 16.7. Note that one end of the pipe is positioned close to the assembly 17.1a, which has got the yellow arrow in the instructions. Ah, so that will fit under there. Right, okay. That's easy enough. When you're happy with it, glue in place. So I know that fits, so I'm just going to put a dab of glue onto this peg. Tiny bit more. There we go. And then glue this in place, that pointing straight up like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my tweezers to push this cable into that hole there, so that fits in nicely like that. There we go. So that's all attached just there. Now this cable, this copper cable, runs all the way down here, and then it runs up and under into, can you see it? There you go. That kind of 3 circle hole I was talking about, so that fits into there like that. Right, so that's stage 10. Stage 11, fit the pipe 17.9 in place. It runs close to pipe 17.7, so that the 2 pegs fit into corresponding holes on the framework connector. The end of the pipe fits into the hole. Right, so that one is, so this next one is this one here that's got the kind of silver bit in the middle, and that fits into these two holes on the connector. So it looks like it's going to be the 3rd and 4th holes up. So it's that hole there. Oh, move back a little bit so you can see. That hole there, and the one straight above it. Now this is going to be some fiddly working. That's what it should look like when that's done. And then take part 17.6, identify the fixing point on the top of the tank. So that's that little peg. So this one is going on to this little peg here, and it's just going to be that little hole just there on the back. Okay, so that's that, and that will go in that way around. So also how this goes in is with that more kind of kinked pipe going into the tank, which is, trying to hold this all properly with one hand. So this is the tank just here, and there's like a little hole in the top that bit will go into. So if I just get my tweezers, and then that goes into there, that goes down onto there. Oh crikey! So that'll fit on there like that. None of these pipes want to sit where they belong. That one will fit under there like that, that one will fit in there like that, that one will fit in there like that, and then this one will go and flex into that hole there like that, so that one's in nicely. They're all pretty much in. Check that all 3 pipes are in the lobed hole in part A using tweezers to adjust the position if necessary, and then glue in place. So what I'm going to do, that's how all the pipes will work. Look, I am going to glue these 3 pipes just into that hole because they're not all in the right place, but I'll do that off camera. And that's it. Pipes with switches, levers and joints have been fitted into the inside of the cockpit on the starboard side. So it's all starting to come along now quite nicely. So that's issue 17. With issue 18 we get a bulwark that will support the pilot's seat, a bulwark where the control panel will be, plus details were fitted for the cockpit. So 2 bulwarks, a connector, the pedals, a couple of other details there. We got some screws as well, so that's obviously to screw these 2 together, and some plant on details as well. So that's issue 17 all done. Issue 18 will be up shortly. Same as the last few builds, it's been uploaded quite quickly due to me not being very well a few weeks back, so I've had a bit of catching up to do. I have still got a lot of Bismarck to catch up with as well, so keep an eye out for that if you're following the Bismarck build as well. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller for more weekly model building geekiness, and issue 18 will be up hopefully within the next few days. But until next time, please remember guys, happy modelling and stay safe.